Oh, big one. Oh. Okay, so I want to show you what Hiroshi and I did today. The plan was to go out and throw topwaters, and what we did was we went exploring some water on Lake Erie, and these big giant flats, they're pretty time consuming to work through, but with this giant topwater, this is the Abino 110F. This is an awesome bait. There's a bunch of different ways to rig this and fish this lure. I'm going to put a link to Hiroshi's video, and he gives a real detailed description on different styles. But what I did, this is just the standard out of the package rig, and what I was using was, this is actually a bladed jig rod or a spinnerbait rod that Daiwa makes, and I'm using 20-pound monofilament. And it's important to use the mono so that it floats. You could fish this on a spinning rod, also a stiffer spinning rod with braid and a fluorocarbon leader. But really the plan with this was use this as a search bait, try to get some bigger fish in the shallows just because it's a ton of fun. This bait has really good components, and traditionally this bait has been used for largemouth, but we're using it here on Lake Erie and in Lake Ontario and in other lakes for smallmouth. So big one! Oh, that was insane! Oh my gosh! Look at the size of that one! Oh! Oh! Hey! Wow! Wow! The size of that one. Pounder. Yeah. Wow. Hold on. I got it. Got it. I got it. Oh my gosh. That's awesome. Here, you want to get that? The size of that thing.
Big grew up.
Wow! One of the easiest things to do, and today what we found with this bait, the key was it was overcast, and we were fishing really shallow, and I love the white. I love the way the white stands out. I can watch it. I can also see if something comes up underneath it because the water's super clear. And the fish seem to just, something about the white color on overcast days. The smallmouth love it. And we were making real long casts over these shallow boulder flats and shallow sand flats and just doing a steady retrieve back. Just, you know, real basic, steady retrieve. Throw it out as far as you can, wind on her back, wind it back. Again, spinning or bait casting, that's your choice. Hiroshi was using a bait caster with braided line with a monofilament leader, and again, myself, straight old school 20-pound monofilament. The other thing that we were doing is we were using the Abino as a search bait. So, you know, we're constantly throwing it out and winding it back, and that would allow us just to use our eyes, and we'd be glancing and we'd be looking for smallmouth that were cruising. And we had a 1-2 punch going on today. So the Abino would either catch a fish, and we did catch, actually two of our biggest fish came on the topwater, but there was times where I was throwing the topwater and winding it back, and I was nowhere near a fish, and I just happened to see one swimming, or we'd have a fish chase our Abino and not hit it, and that's when we would throw back with the Nishine Lure Works drop shot minnow, rigged on a really light, I don't know if you guys can see this, on a really light. This is on a tungsten head. We can also use small lead heads. We had the 1/8 smelt head, but we were fishing pretty skinny water. We were in, 5 feet or less. Got him. Good one. Drop shot minnow with that light head. That could be the greatest follow-up bait ever. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I saw him swim by, just swimming. First cast, he went right to it. Nice one.
You have?
Yeah, like, it's so strong. Okay. Nice. Really nice. You want a picture?
Oh yeah, please. With the picture with Abino. Thank you.
No problem.
Oh yeah.
Shaking. My hands are shaking.
Really?
Yeah, so much fun. And it's really important that you fish this bait here in particular, the follow-up bait, on the right equipment. I've got 5-pound braid and I have a 7/6. This is a Tatula hair jig rod. Nico and hair jig rod, 7/6. So it's got a real soft, really soft tip, on the rod. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's got a super soft tip. And 5-pound braid with a 6-pound fluorocarbon or 5-pound fluorocarbon leader. You could use 8-pound, but it's really important to fish this light jig head with this drop shot minnow with light line. You'll get better action, you'll get a further cast because it is pretty light, and the soft, long rod helps throw it really far and also helps play the fish once you hook them, because you need to match the hook to the plastic you're using. And you can see it's just a little tiny jig head with a small hook on it. So you don't really want a real powerful hook set with it, but you need to reel into it, and you need a rod that's designed or soft enough, like this Tatula Nico hair jig rod, that will keep that hook in place. So that is what we did today. It is a deadly combination. So if you have not tried this, it's a ton of fun. It is not just for largemouth, and this is not too big for smallmouth. And it catches some really big fish. And it's got the components. These hooks do not bend. They're Ichikawas. They're super tough. This lure has a really cool action. It moves side to side. It moves a lot of water, and it makes a lot of noise. And it has incredible drawing power. And I think with the steady retrieve, just having it just constantly going, those smallmouth can hear it, track it, and when they hit it, if you can keep reeling and not jerk when you see them, the hookup ratio is really high with this. The softer rod is important. This bladed jig rod, spinnerbait rod, it's got a real soft tip on it, so that helps cast it. It also helps keep these hooks in place. So that is what we did today. We went out, we had to leave early because there were some nasty storms going on, but the plan was get some topwater fish, explore some water, fish some old water, but using the new Abino 110F by Nishine Lure Works, but make sure you always have a follow-up bait. And that drop shot minnow, that 1-2 punch, if you spot a fish cruising or you have a fish follow up and throw this at those fish. And what we were doing is we'd see those fish come in, or we'd see one swim by, and we weren't casting right on top of the fish. We'd kind of cast slightly past the fish, try to get the fish to look away from the boat, try to get them to see your bait and engage in it. But it was simply, you throw out 1 or 2 times, keep your rod tip up, keep that bait kind of swimming, don't let it go to the bottom, because the bottom was covered in moss in a lot of spots and they wouldn't hit it. But if we could get that little drop shot minnow swimming above fish we saw, we picked up some really nice extra fish having this ready. So that's it. We're going to be doing this more often, but we want to share with you how we fish this equipment and what we do each time. So that was today. You know, we had to cut it short. Hiroshi and I are gonna try to get out again soon, but give those 2 baits a try, and I think you are gonna have a ton of fun next time you're heading for clear water smallmouth bass on your favorite body of water.